Hey guys, I hope you're having an awesome Valentine's Day. I know that my family is well plied with chocolate and flowers and pretty gifts, so kind of saw something today that I wanted to talk with you guys about because it kind of goes hand in hand with kind of the discussion of current events that we've been having on top of the discussion of survival equipment and how to be prepared in the event that your family needs your foresight. Because who would have guessed during the pandemic that toilet paper was going to be the thing you should be hoarding? If you raise your hand, I don't believe you. Nobody guessed it was going to be toilet paper. So one of the things that we know for sure you're going to need in a situation probably is going to be food. We've already touched on water a little bit and kind of my best ways to find a water source that you can drink from. So I'm going to link that one in the description, so you can go back, and if you haven't watched that one yet, you can check that video out. But kind of the current hot button topic worth discussing is what's up with eggs, man. Why are eggs so expensive, and what are we looking at here moving forward? So basically what it boils down to is the largest global bird flu outbreak in the history of the universe, of course, because this is the time for those things, is combined with the increasing costs of diesel fuel to transport them, feed prices, and then packaging, all those little styrofoam containers and all that these eggs are in. So, eggs have been a very, very reasonably priced staple for a really long time, and always one of those great ways to get a whole bunch of protein and take care of yourself. But what is going on with that? So one of the reasons behind the shortage is this outbreak of the bird flu that has killed millions of birds, including, poultry, chickens, and wild birds as well. That's why there have been all these spots, you see them on Facebook all the time where it's like, oh, there's a bunch of dead birds. So that has a lot to do with it. So what we're looking at right now is more than 58 million birds have been affected by this bird flu. So first thing that does, obviously, is causes a huge shortage in the supply chain of available eggs to eat. And I think everybody's seeing that problem when it comes to going to whatever grocery store you frequent. If you can do it small and local, please do. That's preferred. But if you go to any of these locations, you're seeing shelves are empty when it comes to eggs in a lot of places. And now that we're starting to see them again, what you're seeing really is the perfect storm of this bird flu mixed with inflation. And now, eggs are, I saw a recent thing that said in the last 3 years, eggs are up 70% in terms of cost. That's madness. I mean, you want to talk about things going up in price. I wish my IRA appreciated that much. But what we're looking at, they're saying that the egg prices peaked in December. I think it remains to be seen. We'll be real curious because another thing that's coming up is you've got Easter on the horizon. And with Easter, what does everybody want to do? Color eggs. So there's that. Everybody's going to be out trying to find eggs and buy eggs. And there really isn't an answer on the horizon right now, because the next thing that's coming up, if you really pay attention to birds, we have a huge bird migration season coming up. There's this thing that goes from way up north at the border with Canada, goes straight through the middle of our country, and ends down kind of in New Orleans around where the Mississippi River meets the Gulf of Mexico, called the Great American Flyway. And what the Great American Flyway is, all these masses of birds that you see transitioning south when it's warm, or south when it's cold and north when it's warm, are all going to start doing that again. They're going to start transitioning back to the north from the south. So what you're going to see over that is commingling of birds. And what does commingling mean? Bird flu. So I really think we're going to see probably prices go up further as we start seeing all the birds start transitioning back north along these flyways, because there's going to be sick birds intermingled with these other birds. So really, I think what we'll see, that coupled with they're going to start killing off a lot of these birds that are possibly infected. You're going to see just a cull of all these, bird plants. Another big issue here, there was a huge, huge, huge fire that basically killed like 100,000 birds. And we'll take a second. I'm going to pause this and grab the news story on that. Yeah, so now I've got this clipboard in front of me. Basra, Connecticut, a fire burned for hours in the Hillendale Farms property before being extinguished, killing an unknown number of chickens. Unconfirmed reports claim 100,000 birds died in the fire. 100,000 birds, I mean, how many eggs is that? It's got to be a lot. I don't know, not a farmer, so not entirely sure. But that is one of those things, you add that to all this stuff. Like I said earlier, it's the perfect storm of eggs just being crazy expensive. So that kind of brings me to the other topic I want to talk about today, and that is food insecurity. When it comes to taking care of your family and making sure they have enough food in situations of shortage, there are a lot of ways that you can very cost effectively do this. First one being, while everything's fine, go to Walmart, and every time you go, buy 2-3 extra cans of some of the nutrient dense, high protein foods that you might find. I mean, they're really high in salt, but if you're living on canned food, is high sodium really your big concern? I don't really think it is. So kind of the things to be looking for are stuff that's super high in protein, but also in some of the vitamins that you're really going to need. One of the ones that I kind of like, other than the fact I just like it, Dinty Moore beef stew. You know, you've got potatoes, carrots, beef. I mean, just all these things that are really good where you can make a little bit stretch really far for your family. So start doing that, you know. I mean, you don't have to have a stockpile of 10,000 cans in your garage, but maybe, you know, a 25 to 50 can stockpile just to kind of supplement where you're going to be. Because again, who would have guessed toilet paper? If you guessed toilet paper, you should have played the lottery. You screwed that up. So it's really a great thing to do to just kind of help yourself out a little bit. The other thing is, along with the price of inflation and everything going up on the planet, start as you can, pick up some of these guys. The old U.S. military MRE. Great thing about the MRE is it is really designed with a high calorie output in mind. One of the things to really be careful of is you will see a lot of these survival companies that make survival based foods. They're mostly really rich in carbohydrates and really rich in grains, which are perfectly fine. You know, if you have some of those things, I've got some out in the garage at the house. If you've got these things, ensure that part of this process you are making sure they are not just carbohydrates and grains and simple sugar. Because what's going to happen, yeah, you're going to have a ton of energy and you're going to feel full, but you're going to lose weight because there's nothing protein wise to them. So if you haven't already purchased these things and you're looking into it, make sure you really do a deep dive into the nutrition label and make sure that these things are not just fillers that are going to keep you full when you need to eat, but are actually healthy for your body and good for you. And on top of that, if you don't have a garden, now would be a great time to start looking into maybe growing some vegetables, getting yourself a little organic garden going. So I actually do not garden in any way, shape, or form. I kill pretty much every plant that I have more than 20 minutes with. So I leave the gardening to the fam. But at any rate, another great thing to do is start looking into some of the alternate methods that the U.S. military has for food. They make these aviation kit survival meals. They are really good for, it's a really small container, so this is about how big the box is, and I will keep several of these stashed in some of my different backpacks because you can see the difference in size. Several of these will fit, and the thing that is really nice about them, they're really small, and most of them are in bar form. So what we got right here is the chocolate chip dessert bar, which I am quite a big fan of, and I'll kind of move this in so you can, chocolate dessert bar. So that's the chocolate dessert bar. Let's see what this next one is. Cornflake cereal bar. So a lot of these are not necessarily super high in proteins like we were just discussing, but the big benefit they do have, the old wintergreen bar. That is another interesting one. But one of the benefits that these things have is on their own, they don't necessarily create an entire meal, but these will really stretch this a lot further, where you can utilize the protein that is in these with the grains and some of the simpler items in this to stretch your survival food a lot further. They also come with like a bouillon pack. You know, this one's chicken and a little iced tea mix. So really what you get out of it, you know, on top of that is that bouillon. I mean, it feels nice, you know, when weather's not great outside and you throw down some chicken soup, man, what a good feeling. And I'm going to put links to all of these things in the description so that you guys can take a peek at them on Amazon or wherever you may buy your finer survival foods. But just a really great way to help you feel better about some of these situations when it comes to shortages in eggs and other items like that in America, because really what we're trying to do, you can't plan for absolutely every eventuality when it comes to what you may need in a different situation. But what we can do is try to cover as many bases as possible. So far we've talked about, and I'll make a playlist for this so you guys can check it out, but we've talked about how to start a fire using a simple, easy to make fire starter, how to filter your water, and how to eat food now. So really the big goal here is we're knocking out all the simpler survival tasks right now. So if you haven't watched those videos yet, I highly encourage you to check them out, because 10 minutes here and there, you know, just viewing the videos once or twice can really help you get a leg up in the event that you actually need to utilize some of these skills. And they're perishable. If you don't keep your mind fresh on these, it's definitely something that'll go by the wayside. So if you guys haven't already liked this video, please hit her with the thumbs up. I really appreciate that. And subscribe to the channel. It really helps me make more content just like this. So if you guys have any comments, anything you want to talk about, or questions about any of these meals, or if you've eaten MREs and you think they're terrible, which some of them are, that's totally cool too. And thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day and a great afternoon.